Hello, today we'll be doing business in Lesotho. In my group, there is Wellington, me, Aleksas Guinness, Alex Christie, Colin and Mattia Bernard. These are the table of contents: the general information, political landscape, government, political parties, geographical landscape, socio-economic landscape, demography, business sectors, cost of doing business, picking the right location, tax overview, laws and requirements, employment, what should investors invest in, business etiquette, cultural heritage, and the conclusion.
Next, we'll be discussing general information. First of all, Lesotho is an enclave country in the middle of South Africa. Its official languages are Sesotho and English. The capital of Lesotho is Mazuru, and the population is about 2.3 million, and the GDP per capita is 1,187. Then we'll be talking about the political landscape. In Lesotho, the army has caused political unrest due to its involvement in the political system. Lesotho is a constitutional monarchy. That means but it has no elective or executive power, and it's a national symbol of unity. The prime minister is the head of state and the leader of the most voted party. The College of Chiefs is the group that has the power to dispose of the monarchy and the power to choose the successor. Next, the government. The government consists of the Senate, National Assembly, and the Prime Minister. The Senate consists of 33 members, 22 hereditary, which means it's passed down to the next generation, and 11 appointed by King. The National Assembly consists of 140 members, 80 are single seat elected, and 40 are proportional. The Prime Minister, as previously mentioned, is the head of government and the head of the most voted party. The political parties and their leaders. The political parties in the current government are shown on the slide. There is a large presence of social democratic parties. The most voted are on top, and the least voted are at the bottom. One notable thing is that the Pan-Africanism is a movement with the goal to strengthen the bond between African people.
Hello, my name is Mattia Bernard, and I will talk to you about the geographical landscape in Lesotho. Lesotho is a completely landlocked country. It is an enclave of South Africa, which means the only neighboring country, South Africa. It has a total area of approximately 30,000 square kilometers. A very interesting fact about Lesotho, it is the only independent country which rests entirely over 1,400 meters above the sea level. There are plenty of natural resources, agriculture, water, and mining, so diamonds and various metals. One of the largest actually rivers in Africa has its source in Lesotho. It is called the Orange River, or also known as Senko. Lesotho is divided in 10 administrative districts, them called Barea, Butabute, Leribe, Mafteng, Maseru, Mohale's-Hoek, Mokotlong, Kwachasnek, Kwiting, and Tabatseka. Each district has its own capital, and the capital Maseru, also named Maseru, is as well the capital of Lesotho.
Now I'll be doing the socio-economic landscape. So, as you can see here, in 2022, the graph shows Lesotho appears to have a larger majority of younger dependents and fewer older people in the working force. That means there is many people available for work and they're young. And with this, each business can take advantage of the unemployment and utilize the young people. But a disadvantage to this is that they may have no experience, so it may take time to develop them. But this ensures longevity in the future for the businesses of Lesotho. The demography. There's 2.3 inhabitants, 90% are Christian, and the remaining are 10%. The remaining 10% are Muslims, Hindus, Baha'i, and indigenous regions. religions. One of the highest literacy rates in Africa is in Lesotho of 85%. 30% live in urban environments, 70% rural, and the average life expectancy is 55.7 years. 58.9 years being female and 52.55 years being males.
So the business sectors in Lesotho are mainly four, these being the textile, the mining, agricultural, and the services. So the textile is the largest private employer in Lesotho, with having more than 36,000 employees. The agricultural is the largest employer in Lesotho, as about 71% of Lesotho's land is used for agriculture. In 2019, approximately 329,000 people were working as farmers. The service sector is very, very important for Lesotho's economy, with 315 approximate people employed in it. A fun fact is that a study led in 2022 showed that Maseru accounted for about 50% of the national GDP, despite representing only 17% of Lesotho's population. This anomaly was mainly caused exactly from the service sector. The mining industry in Lesotho is, let's say, recent, being first traces of it being found in the mid-20th century. It is very concentrated on the diamond mining, and this has not affected Lesotho's economy by a great deal, but it has offered many jobs.
So I'll talk about the cost of doing business. I'm Aleksas. And so the cost of doing business in Lesotho, they are very low. Only taxes need to be paid, which are a very small amount. There's the first registration tax, which needs to be paid, which is very low as well. This tax can, of course, vary with the size of the company, but still that number remains very small. This takes 1 day to pay and complete the process. Next, a secondary tax should also be paid, which is called the operational license fee. This can be paid at the accounting window. The cost of this business license will again vary in price depending on the type of activity the business is doing. As for the costs of resources such as water, electricity, gas, again, they are very cheap. For total cost of electricity, which includes all components of the electricity bill, such as cost of power, distribution, taxes, that is just $0.02 per kilowatt hour. This is the same story for petrol prices in Lesotho. They are half compared to the current average European petrol prices, just 1.19 euro per liter compared to Belgium current 2.1 euro per liter. This is a huge benefit for where transportation of goods is needed to be made at an affordable price. So on an average, the total cost of doing business in Lesotho remains very, very low and extremely convenient.
Depending on your business, it can vary from agricultural purposes, so we would need a more maybe not flat, because Lesotho is mainly mountainous, but more of a plateau type area. If a factory needs to be built, it needs to be alimented by water, so close to a river. If it's to open up a mine, the best locations would be in the mountain ranges, not only for mining diamonds, but also numerous metals. So it really depends from what the business is, but these are some of the recommended locations.
Hello everyone, I'm Aleksas, and right now I'm gonna present tax overview. So in Lesotho, the corporate income tax rate is a tax collected from companies. Its amount is based on the net income companies obtain while exercising their business activity, normally during one business year. For manufacturing and commercial farming, the corporate income tax is 10%. For other companies, it is 25%. Import taxes goes within 8 different levels, from 0 until 30%. It also has fees for power, it is 9%, telecommunications, 12%, and 15% for other goods. Next slide. As every other country, Lesotho has their business laws and regulations. Due to government's systematic approach to reform, business rules in Lesotho are generally decent but inconsistent, modern and flexible in some sectors and retrogressive in others. The most important documents to start a business in Lesotho is licensing of business, business registration, registration of business names, business identification card, which is valid for 3 years. Failure to comply with these laws results big penalties for the companies. Thank you.
Next up, I will be discussing employment. In Lesotho, there's a large workforce, mainly an abundance on unskilled laborers, but an insufficient amount of skilled laborers. The Commission of Labor of Lesotho allows for hiring foreign workers to compensate for this disadvantage. In Lesotho, the Basotho laborers have the right to unionize, but this is often denied by their employers. And collective bargaining is difficult due to the fact that it requires 50% of the company employees to commence, which is quite difficult when unionizing has been restricted. The government tends to seek a balance between competitive versus fair wages for their laborers. The wages are set annually to ensure this.
So my name is Aleksas again, and I will talk to you about what investors should invest in. So Lesotho has a booming manufacturing sector. It highly benefits from one of the lowest taxes in the whole of Africa, just 10%, meaning a help with higher profits. Investors should really look into investing in the key industries of Lesotho, such as manufacturing, automotive components, water, agriculture, and many others. When it comes to the water industry, Lesotho has one of the purest water sources in the entire world, with the smallest amount of microbiological and chemical contamination, which requires very, very little treatment. This is a huge opportunity for investors trying to start up a water business in Lesotho, Africa. This very pure, high quality water could be exported and sold internationally and expanding worldwide. Another industry in which investing would guarantee success would be the electrical appliances or electrical components. It really provides a bunch of opportunities. The sector mainly focuses on fuses, relays, switches, surge suppressor, plugs, sockets, and lamp holders. These products are, of course, exported worldwide, such as China, EU, and UAE. Home appliances such as TVs and sound recorders are also being produced on a large scale. In conclusion, investors would easily benefit from double-digit returns from the electrical appliance and component sector.
So now I'll be presenting on the business etiquette. So the typical dress code types when doing business in Lesotho is a black tie, dark suit, and tie to a tuxedo or formal. Business jacket or tie, smart casual clothing without a tie but no jeans and sneakers, or casual jeans but no sports shorts. Business is usually conducted in the offices, and they can reconfirm on the day of appointments in case of any delays.
So I'll talk about the cultural heritage. So every single natural resource is sacred for the benefit of those who are alive today and those who will be born in the future. They should be handled collectively while keeping in mind the continuity between the past, present, and the future. The traditional mindset of African was thus. The nation of Lesotho, hence the entire population, owns the country's culture and land. Individuals, communal entities, the land, and the environment are all bound together by sacred ties in traditional African culture. These connections served as the traditional foundation for African people's traditions, way of life, and way of thinking. These bonds gave rise to their communal sense of ethical responsibility toward the present and the future. And here we can see two photos of some artifacts.
To conclude, due to Lesotho's large available workforce, low taxes, and cheap energy, it is the ideal place to invest in. Another major benefit is that hiring employees is relatively easy and cheap. at a unique high elevation of the nation, where the lowest point is 1,400 meters above sea level. It protects most crops from disease, and it making industries like agriculture the most alluring to investors. The mining sector of materials, apart from diamonds, would be as well a very good choice, as this is basically untouched business due to the lack of infrastructure and initiative. The water sector is a very good opportunity as well due to the large abundance of some of the purest water and the high economical impact of the sector in Lesotho's economy. Thank you, and this has been doing business in Lesotho.